Alright, today we're having a look at Cheese and the Making Thereof by DStomp1. Alright, so here we are in Cheese and the Making Thereof by DStomp1. We had a little bit of a... is there a reason I couldn't grab that? Had a little bit of an intro cutscene, and... okay. This, I should have expected something like this, but... we played a couple of DStomps levels on stream. And they were fun and weird and goofy, and I liked them. But they were not, like, super platform adjacent. And I asked our wonderful Mind Planet 84 for something that was maybe a little bit more platform adjacent. And I can't read this because I want to play. Okay. Good. Yes, okay, we're in something now. The aesthetic is like pretty basic aesthetic, but this does seem to be something that the Stomp 1 does in their levels. Leveraging kind of very simple, old school style aesthetics to get humor out of. So I'm not gonna ding it points for that. And we do finally have music, and there's Stuff and Company. How can I help you? Also, please don't eat my face. I won't eat your face. I just want to not push this counter. Let me do stuff. At the very least, the controller issues are not as much of an issue here because there's not as much gameplay. Okay, so we gotta get to the top of the fish pile. How... Can we do this? Oh, yes, okay, good. Round 1. Start. What? Okay, this was not, I was not expecting this, and that's, okay. I love the music. Music is fabulous. Now, I do not need this cheese, but I will take it. Cheese get indeed. I'm actually liking this. It's kind of hard to review, but it's actually kind of charming and humorous. Oh, fudge. But not fudge. Milk. Can I... No! What? Was that supposed to happen? Was I supposed to die? Oh my god, we've only got 11 seconds. What? No! I am so confused. And we're gonna have to go back to the hub, like, super quick. Fudge. Oh, shoot! Okay, stop! No! I keep on getting, like, it's like getting spawn camped. We'll get to the top of this pile, and then we're gonna go back to the hub, I swear. Is this the level? Should I have started here? Like, is this what the level is? That's fine, by the way. But I could have saved this time and just done this. But we're gonna go back to the hub, and we will see you there. See yas! And we're back, and Cheese and the Making Thereof by DStomp1. And I'd say it's a yellow square. There's a lot of reasons for it, but the level's a joke. It's a joke! And then I was gonna smash cut to just, like, end the episode right here, but that would have been a worse joke and not very fair to DStomp. See, the issue is, and I think it comes through pretty clearly in DStomp's other levels, I've played, Toadstools, Tickets, and Theatrics, House RPG, and Temple of 1,000 Distractions on stream before, so I'm kind of familiar with DStomp's methods. This one was recommended to me by Mind Planet 84, who's a great lad, and you should give his levels a look when they get published, but they're not ready yet. But anyway, so I'm kind of familiar with the direction that DStomp tends to be going in, and that all of these levels are kind of a device to deliver a bit. And if it's a bit that lands with you, if you enjoy the humor of it, then I think you'll have a really good time with this one and DStomp's other levels. But like, if it doesn't. It's just not gonna. And there's not a lot outside of the bit that you can actually engage with. So it's very, very hit or miss. Now, I particularly, as I said, it did land with me. I did enjoy it. This level, as we saw, we're trying to create cheese artificially because the cheese mines are running out, and so we've got to get milk and salt, and then we can put that together for our cheese. We saw the milk gathering part, and this one I want to do a little bit of focus here because I think this is the part of the level that's maybe easiest to engage with from a review standard because it's got the strongest gameplay in it. I really liked climbing up the fish pile. I thought that was an excellent minigame. It was well put together in a visual sense, that it had a visual humor to it and appeal to it there, but also that you could keep track of, you know, what were the moving bits in the minigame. You knew what the dangers were, you knew what the extra points were. It was a very simple mechanic to engage with, and it elaborated on and built that mechanic. We saw in the beginning, you've just got the flaming fish that's dropping, and then in the second round, you've got these fish that'll rocket down from the top. There's a warning path, a red warning path, and then they rocket down. And then in the third, you've got a little bit of branching and climbing, and you've got both the flaming fish and the rocket fish coming down, and eventually you'll get your milk. And I thought that was like really well put together, and if it was a thing that D-Stomp wanted to do, that could be expanded out into its own separate mini game level. The patterns in that are non-random, and I think that if D-Stomp wanted to build this into a minigame, that maybe putting some randomization in the patterns might be helpful, but that's kind of a side point. It's a really good minigame. It's really cool, and it's really about the only quad gameplay in it. The salt bit that we didn't see is mainly swimming in floaty fluid. It's odd. You've got a section called the Painless Maze, and you can see the entire maze on the screen at one time. The camera is very far pulled back. There's no real distractions as far as decoration in that area, but it's interspersed with these like egg-based humor cutscenes. Now, as a trans gal, I do love my egg-based humor, but like whether you'll find them funny is it's very on you, and they kind of go on, and I know that's the joke. You just want to get the maze finished so you can finish this section, but you know, they do go on. So then you get your salt and you bring it back, and then you can make the cheese, and they decide that the cheese is not very good and we want more cheese from the moon, but the moon explodes. So like for gameplay, it's very simple, and for like decorative elements and presentation, it's also very, I want to say, I've not been in contact with D-Stomp, so I don't want to speak for them, but I feel like this is very deliberate in making the shaping of materials very simple. Like you see this, you see it all over the aesthetic of the levels, but in Temple of a Thousand Distractions, when you're in this knife and fork burger shop, and like everything is super early LBP1 shaping of the tables and the chairs. There's like nothing really there to catch you. They're just basic thumbnails of objects in space, and I think that helps with the delivery of the joke. It kind of primes the humor of it as almost being like a Saturday morning cartoon, which is good in the humor department, but it's not necessarily great from a visual interaction department. So there's that. But now, one thing I do want to point out in visual interaction that I think is excellent is just the animations that D-Stomp puts in the levels are really good. There's some interesting kind of like puppet work that we see going on in Toadstool's Tickets and Theatrics. We also see a little bit in-house and a little bit on display here. I loved the section with the moon. I thought the actual setup of that, like the framing and the camera work in that section was good. But again, these kind of simple animation reactions on the moon, and it's all in the background where you've got the focus of the camera, the focus on the scene is D-Stomp talking to you, but you can kind of see these things happening to the moon in the back, and like that setup is really, really cool, and the moon is really super cute, and these kind of little details, these humorous visual details, again, very Saturday morning cartoon, which I realize they probably haven't done Saturday morning cartoons since the 90s, so maybe that reference isn't going to make a lot of sense, but it worked for me, and I really, really liked it. And again, if you like that humor, I think that you'll get it. Now, the downsides then are, if you don't like the humor, there's not really gonna be very much for you in the level, and B, with a lot of this type of humor, it only really works once. Like, once you've seen the bit, once you've got the joke, there's not, like, really a lot of reason to go back to it. I don't want to necessarily say that I don't want it to reflect poorly on the level itself, but it doesn't really have a lot of replay value unless you want to look at it as a guide to doing puppet animations in LBP, because I do think it is a pretty good guide for that. But yeah, this was a fun level. I got to make cheese. I don't know if I'll go back to this, except maybe as a gag on stream, and I would recommend giving it a shot. Now today, well actually when you watch this today, not when I record this today, but it's my birthday. It's your girl's birthday. It's my birthday. 43 was a hard year. I mean, I think this last year has been a pretty hard year for everyone, but this was not a great year for me. I got hopes for 44. You know, I'll make you a promise I'm going to be here throughout 44 and going into 45. Hopefully in a, you know, much farther ahead towards where I want to be than where I am right now. It's been hard to get movement in my life because this period of life for me has kind of coincided with the end of the world. We've all been dealing with it. I'm no different. But I'm going to do my best to make this year 44 into a good one. And I want to thank everybody out there who's been giving me support, especially, but not only since coming out, but the folks that have stuck by me and have come into my community since coming out. You mean so much to me, and that's the best gift. That's the best gift anybody's could possibly give me, and I really appreciate it. Thanks. Thank you. But that pretty much does it for us here at the Go About. So from me, Disco here in Tokyo, to all of you out there wherever it may happen to be, thank you, arigato, sayonara, see you, and ciao.